So Arsenal with the 2-1 win, although there were some moments where it got a little bit tense for the Gunners. Kieran Gibbs has been watching for us. He won 3 FA Cups with Arsenal. Kieran, your reaction to that win for Arsenal that got there in the end?
Yeah, job done, Kay. I think Mikel will be delighted. Bit of a sigh of relief. I think there was some scary moments. I want to give credit to Mansfield. I think they could be proud of their performance today and this cup run. They've gone toe to toe with, one of, if not the best side in Europe at the moment. And I think, as Shaka said, it really came down to just that individual quality in the end. 2 brilliant strikes from Madueke and cup hero Eze. And that's typically what edges these kind of games. I think if you look at the first half performance from Mansfield, maybe teams will start to look at this and say, what really happens when you step out and, press a little bit higher against this Arsenal side. But look, they have bundles of quality. I was really impressed with some of the young performers today. Max Dowman, Salmon, I know he had a small error with the goal, but I think Mikel will take a lot of pride from that. So yeah, I think it's happy days for Arsenal at the moment. They march on, and that quadruple, that unimaginable quadruple, is still in sights.
Yes, it is. Let's stick with Max Dowman. So young, so talented, Kieran. You've got to be excited about what you're seeing here.
So excited, Kay. Honestly, so excited. I think, so much talk in the game at the moment about how organised and structured and, quite dull at times the game is. He's one of those players that goes against all of that. He goes against all of that. The game kind of magnetizes around him, and he has the ability to disrupt any team in the world at such a young age as well, to have that composure that he has. And he just doesn't seem to be fazed by anything. It's really rare to see that these days. And yeah, it's just, I think it's, not just for Arsenal fans, but I think just for football fans in general, to have a player like that is exciting for everyone.
They are through, but it has come at a little bit of a cost as well, as we did just show you those injuries. We'll get to those in a minute. There's Jermaine Beckford. He's been pitch side for us today. That was a proper cup tie, Jermaine.
Absolutely, it was absolutely fantastic. What a game it was as well at the One Call Stadium. I would have to say, Mansfield must feel a little bit aggrieved, a little bit frustrated, a little bit disappointed as well. They were fantastic the whole game. I thought Russell and Reed in midfield especially were 2 really, really good players. They broke up play really well up against a phenomenal Arsenal side. They went toe-to-toe with the giants of the Premier League leaders, the favourites to win it, and they looked good. So unfortunate, it's just one of those things. Great account of themselves. I'm impressed, and the manager will be very proud of his players also.
Jermaine, talk to us a little bit about what we were seeing from some of the youngsters from Arsenal today. We've just been talking to Kieran about how special Max Dowman looks.
Oh, he's a class above. What a class act he is. Every time he picks the ball up, he looks like he's gliding. He's not playing football, he's enjoying himself. It doesn't look like he's playing against professional football players. He looks like he's playing against his friends in the park. He just looks so comfortable, so confident, so happy, relaxed on the ball as well. And for somebody so young, he looks like he's been playing for 15, 20, 25 years as a professional. Class act, absolutely fantastic player.
Wonderful stuff. A little bit of a word on Eze as well, if we can, Jermaine, sealing the deal in the end for his team off the bench.
Yeah, look, when Eberechi Eze comes off the bench, whenever he's on the pitch as well, he's an incredible football player. He's one of my favourite players in this Arsenal side, incidentally. Again, the way he took his goal was phenomenal. What a finish. Great first touch. Second touch, absolutely walloped it into the back of the net with his laces. That's just what he's about, But he also brings that calmness, that composure, that experience in the middle of the pitch. I mentioned he's my favourite player. He's my favourite player for a reason. He reminds me, not so much in terms of the all-round skills, but in terms of the influence he has on the team, of Ronaldinho. He's just phenomenal. So comfortable. Give him the ball under pressure in anywhere on the pitch, and he just looks magic.
That's
my favourite player for this Arsenal side by far.
I thought Jermaine was going to say he reminds him of himself there. That's where I really started getting worried.
Playing with a smile.
Not at all.
Yeah.
Playing with some joy.
And absolutely 100%. Right. And Jermaine mentions Dowman looks like he's playing as a professional 15, 25 years. He's barely 50 years old himself. And that's the thing about these young talents coming in, as young as they are, and almost having this attitude as though they were still on the playground, they were still on the school playground. You saw that again from Dowman today. Every time you've seen him, that's the impression you get. In a season that his minutes have been limited because of Arsenal's successes and kind of the focus on the biggest prize of them all, certainly I believe for Arsenal, which is the Premier League title, which is well within their grasp. They're not going to vary much from what you've seen so far this season. So in these cup competitions, that's when the players like Dowman are going to get their opportunities. And all you can ask of him is to take them as he has today, to show what he's about, the type of player that he is. And again, I'll keep saying this because the pitch today played a part in what I feel was certainly the final result, probably some of Arsenal's struggles. It does not help, it does not lean into Dowman's skill set. Yet still, he was able to produce the kind of performance that he did. A couple of opportunities, I'm thinking in the first half, where maybe he could have finished a little bit better. But other than that, it was a good day for him to show what he's about. And again, against better opponents on a better park, you know exactly what you'll get from him.
Yeah, Arsenal reaching the FA Cup quarter-finals for the first time since 2020 that year. They lifted the trophy. They are still in 4 competitions. Kieran mentioned it, on for the quadruple as it stands right now, and favourites to win in all 4 of those competitions. How do you see it going for them though, Jermaine? Do you think they can do all 4?
I don't see why not. Listen, they're the favourites, top of the Premier League, top of the Champions League, also through to the next round of the FA Cup. Look, why not? You know, if it's on the table, Arsenal have got the players for it, they've got the squad depth, they've got the quality for it, and they've got a fantastic manager in Mikel Arteta who has been there before. So who's to say they can't do it?
Yeah, definitely not Kieran Gibbs. I think Kieran's feeling a little bit confident right now. What would be the concerns though, Kieran, where they could fall short?
Concerns. I mean, I think obviously, you know, when you start to get to the final bend is where fatigue kicks in. We've seen Calafiori go off again today, so that will be a concern. But you know, they have replacements to step in. So you have to think that they have the squad depth to, you know, get far in this run. I think the final, the Carabao Cup final will tell us a lot. I think it will tell us a lot about how far this Arsenal side have come. You know, obviously finishing just short over the last few seasons. We're still yet to get to that final hurdle to see, you know, if they've learned from it and how much they've taken from it. So I think, you know, in 2 weeks' time when the final's here, I think that's such a big day, and that will tell us so much more about what can be achieved this season from this Arsenal side.
Yeah, this is one of 4 games in 12 days for Arsenal. How do you see those 4 competitions for them, Shaka?
I'll be honest, I'm struggling to see past one for in that. The Premier League title is, for me, the be-all and end-all for Arsenal. Understandably, I think that's your cake. Everything else is icing, and maybe a little bit more so in terms of the Champions League. But I don't feel Arsenal, as a club, I don't think their fans will be happy if, say, they win the FA Cup and the Carabao Cup and not the Premier League and not the Champions League. Right now, for me, I think Arsenal's focus should continue to be on the Premier League. They're in pole position. They've got to see this through. This is the title I think they want most. Everything else adds to what is already a successful season. Without that Premier League title, things just feel a little bit flat. I think they get to the Champions League semi-final, given the bracket, their draw. After that, you're coming up against, I think it's between Barcelona and Atletico Madrid, kind of given their respective matchups. More than likely, in my opinion, it'll be Barcelona. That's a tough test, but you get to the semi-final, you're 270 minutes away from winning the Champions League as well. Again, that adds to what will be an outstanding season if you win the Premier League. So for me, right now, as much as you're in 4 competitions, I'm not looking much further than the Premier League. You get that, and then everything else just feels so much more special.
Yes, it does. So Liverpool and Arsenal have booked their spots in the quarter-final of this year's FA Cup. Who will be joining them? Later today, we've got Wrexham against Chelsea, Newcastle taking on Man City as well. On Sunday, a full slate of action for you. And Monday, West Ham against Brentford. All of these games coming up for you on ESPN+.